Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the podcast that we bring you each and every day at this stage on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Just here with Craig today doing a quick Europa League draw reaction. As always, you can find us over on YouTube. Head over there, hit that, smash that subscribe, like, and share button, and also the bell notification to receive notifications on the latest content that's uploaded. So, Craig, what do you think? Draw just completed there. Obviously, the standout match is obviously United versus Milan. Obviously, Roma versus Shakhtar, a big match as well. But what was your overall thinking on the draw?
Yeah, obviously, both of us being Liverpool fans, but obviously football fans first. I think it was a nice draw for a neutral. Obviously, as you touched on, Man United and Milan gives you that Champions League-esque kind of feeling on a Thursday. Same with Roma, Shakhtar Donetsk, I think is a great tie as well. Looking beyond that, I think even you could say Arsenal Olympiacos, bit of a Champions League feel to it as well. And then kind of going beyond that, then it's very hard, I think, between the other European sides to pick like a clear standout one over the other. I think it's very competitive for our last 16.
Yeah, I think Gerrard, I presume, will be very happy with Rangers' draw and getting the away tie first. Although some of these matches are going to be played at neutral venues due to COVID, but yeah, certainly there's some standout ties there. Tottenham, I think, won't be too disappointed with Zagreb. Bale coming back to great form was outstanding. Arsenal Olympiacos, that's a very dangerous tie. Olympiacos are a very underrated side, but they certainly like playing against English opposition.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really like the Europa League sort of tiptoes along really in the shadow of the Champions League. But once you get to this, like, round of 16 or, just before the quarterfinals, that's when you're really starting to get some of those real tasty ties that come up where you have like, the gulf and talent between the teams is less and less. So, you can throw up some really strange results. More
balance it does.
Yeah, I mean, we seen it last night even with Leicester there faltering, which was so disappointing. I mean, I really thought Brendan Rodgers could at least get to, I was thinking at least quarterfinal to semi-final stage, if not potentially go all the way. The team was playing outstanding, but they got caught last night badly.
I think that's due to maybe a lack of experience as well. I looked at the European ties last night, probably like a lot of people. I had Leicester through as a foregone conclusion. No disrespect to Slavia Prague. But looking at the other fixtures, I think Leicester going into that, Niall in the first leg, coming back home, the second leg, I thought they would have done the business. They didn't, and maybe it's going to be a lesson learned for a lot of the players who haven't experienced European football before. You could argue the fact, you say, right, Maddison wasn't there, but they had enough about them. Like, they still had a good 11 out. They had Tielemans, they had Vardy, they had their back line. I think it might be a lesson learned. Maybe did they overlook the opposition? Maybe did they go into it thinking a bit like, I will get the job done tonight. But Slavia Prague, credit to them, they go through. But again, no disrespect to them. I think Gerrard will do his homework, and I think they'll be up for that after a very convincing win over Antwerp. And I think Rangers will get the job done over the two legs. Especially as well, very disappointed with Real Sociedad. Going into that game, I thought they would have given United two very tough ties. Looked very basic, very nostalgic, rolled over both legs. I thought weren't good at all. Molde as well, give a special mention to them. Hoffenheim obliterated them on stats in both games and were the favourites in both games, but Molde got the goals, and that's what it's about in the European ties. It's about taking your chances, isn't it?
Yeah, I think at times people really underestimate a lot of these, let's say, lesser teams in Europe. No disrespect to them, but like, these guys can show up on any day and they can't put the ball in the back of the net. They've shown it that they can be difficult and resilient at the back. And I think, especially with Slavia, I think Leicester kind of came away from the away leg, and there was kind of like an arrogance about them or something like that they just show up and this is breeze through.
Like an expectancy, kind of. Like an expectancy.
And that's a very dangerous place to be when there's an expectancy, because more often than not, teams don't reach that expectation. Probably a big shout out to Granada.
I actually didn't realize. Because the away goal, I didn't take that into consideration that they actually got last night. Look at, fair play to them, not one of the really recognised so-called teams in La Liga, like Villarreal, like a Sociedad previous, and Granada kind of going about their business, taking out a super team in Napoli, they'll obviously get great confidence from that. And with Molde, you know, to be fair to them, it's a 50-50. Like, neither of them have nothing to lose. You know, it could be a great tie.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal, Olympiacos versus Arsenal. This is a very dangerous tie. But I mean, I looked at the match there yesterday. Saka was outstanding, and Aubameyang looks like he's back to he's up for it again. You know, that
he's up
kind
for
of
it,
way. But again, a very dangerous side. Olympiacos, a very resilient European side. Don't roll over too easy for teams. What you're thinking? Like, I suppose on Arsenal, Tottenham, United, and let's include Rangers as well. Do you see them progressing through, or I mean, surely with Bale back on form there with Tottenham now, you'd expect Tottenham over two legs to qualify. I think United versus Milan is a flip of a coin, really. It's really the Zlatan versus Maguire show, really, isn't it? To an extent.
It's about like if Milan, and more importantly, if Zlatan shows up, it could be a really dangerous thing, you know.
Yeah, and you're talking about an AC Milan team as well that are really back, they're really on fire, and that, you know, they're putting it together in Serie A at the moment.
Yeah, and they don't look phased by the midweek fixtures in the Europa League either. They have a good squad to kind of capable to deal with both.
Yeah.
You know, they made a few changes last night. Zlatan actually started on the bench last night, and Rebic started on the bench last night. But, you know, they brought them on. They took the aggregate score. They're smart enough, the Italian clubs behind it. They know what needs to be done in those kind of games. I thought they were a bit, you know, fragile last night. Like you mentioned, Saka, he's 19 years of age, and it looks like they're relying on him a lot to pull out results and pull out balls to the likes of Aubameyang, you know. It's a lot for a 19-year-old. Obviously, he has the talent. He's amazing. But when you look beyond him, who else is really stepping up, you know, in the experienced kind of players?
Well, certainly Tierney is would be one that's
material, I'd say, for Kieran.
Yeah, and you would assume. I'm not sure, did Partey play last night? I don't think he did he? Or?
Still the fitness issue, I think, still
has a fitness issue. Yeah. So, but I think he'll probably be back for the two ties against Olympiacos anyway. But yeah, you kind of, you know, fancy Arsenal. I mean, if you're looking at the league table and stuff like that, you would think that the Europa League is really where it's at for them. You know what I mean, in terms of
similar to Spurs, to be honest. I think.
Yeah, Spurs as well, but yeah, both London clubs, you would say this is really their chance or their pathway back in.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Villarreal, I think, could be a dark horse under Emery. You know, he's got a nice team together. He's got a lot of experience in there. He's took Dani Parejo from Valencia, Raul Albiol back at the club, Paco Alcacer, former Barcelona striker, up there with Gerard Moreno. So there's a very Spanish feel to it, and there's a very, you know, reliable kind of feel throughout the 11 who Emery trusts. And I wouldn't fancy drawing them either. I don't think they'd be an easy draw. Like Real Sociedad, I think Emery does his homework very well. Like, I think they'd be a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, and again, if the toys are played in the natural locations, if they're not in the neutral locations, I mean, Villarreal is always a very tough place to go.
Yeah,
it's not easy at the best of times, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a tantalising draw, really. You know, I mean, I don't think we could have asked for any better fixtures unless we had the Premiership teams kind of draw on each other. But then we like to keep them till probably later in the competition.
Who was your dark horse, Niall, if you're looking at the draw? Who would you say would go under the radar a bit? Looking at the draw now from the last 16, who would you think could be a bit of a dark horse?
Not so much a dark horse, but I'd fancy, you know, someone coming out of that Roma Shakhtar tie.
Yeah.
Roma, again, always very dangerous on their day and stuff like that. And Shakhtar, again, they're kind of proven quality even at a Champions League level. They normally even do well in the Champions League, you know what I mean? So as you said at the beginning, there is a lot of toys there that have that Champions League feel, which, you know, United, Milan, you know, even Ajax and Young Boys, the top draw there, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a tantalising draw as well there, you know.
It's not straightforward as it looks, I don't think. You know, Young Boys took Bayer Leverkusen now over two legs, and they'll have no fear either, I don't think. Either.
Yeah, no, I think if you were looking at that draw and you were trying to pick out who you think could go through, I think if you got 4 right out of the 8, you'd be doing well, you know. It's just the way the Europa League tends to play out, you know. Even as you said earlier, that Granada and Molde tie is an interesting one because we don't have a lot really to go on in terms of Granada, only the form this season.
Yeah.
And of course, we know how strong Molde are up in the Norwegian league. But yeah, I'd fancy. It'd be interesting to see. If Arsenal, Tottenham, United, and Rangers go through, because then you'd be into the quarterfinals. Then you know what I mean. Wouldn't it be gas if Gerrard went all the way with Rangers? You know what I mean? It's just
They look so. Obviously people have their opinions on the Scottish league, but you can't take away what they're doing in the European side of things. They're taking that with them,
yeah,
and they look very well put together.
And they're doing a real good job as well. You know what I mean? They're not skating through, if you like. You know what I mean? They're
Gerrard obviously captaining us.
Yeah.
In big European ties can kind of bring that experience to them.
Yeah, and get them fired up. But yeah, I'm sure most of the neutral fans there will be waiting with bated breath for that United versus Milan game. Certainly, when Zlatan comes in, it's the Zlatan show, as United well know. But yeah, no, interesting times ahead. This is where the Europa League really starts to, take hold and take people's interest, heavily, So yeah, we'll look forward to it. But as always, till next time, we are the upper tier, bringing you this Europa League draw reaction. So for myself and Craig, till next time, head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Always support Irish podcasting, and we will talk to you again soon.